Before I get into the dead people around the Clintons, I want to cover one thing just because it's so important for the people that are kind of on the line. Well, I kind of like Hillary. It'd be nice to have a woman president, this, that, and the other thing. First off, try to name one thing that she accomplished as Secretary of State. She's the most traveled. Whoopee. I'd love to have a free passport, free plane to fly around the world. But what did she actually do? Nothing. But did you know that under her watch there is $6 billion, that's billion with a B, that has gone missing from the Secretary of State Department, the Department of State, missing under her watch. $6 billion. How do you misplace $6 billion? This is all on computers. You track it. You write a check to somebody. If it's a suitcase full of money, you log it as you take it out of the vault. How is $6 billion gone? And what is she going to do with it? Because somebody knows where it's at. So is she going to have a biggest campaign war chest in history to run for president? I don't know. I'm just asking the question, folks. It's $6 billion. I lose $20. My wife's giving me crap over it. Okay, here we go. The scandal list for the Clintons. It's fairly long. I just want to fly up the names of them. I'm not going to go into what they are, just to remind you that these things have happened. These are part of her past. Whitewater. That was a banking scandal. Cattle Futures Gate. This is where she invested $1,000 and turned it into $100,000. Yeah, right. That always happens, right? Travel Gate. Jennifer Flowers Gate. File Gate. Vince Foster Gate. Lincoln Bedroom Gate. Remember that? $150,000 to get to sleep in the Lincoln bedroom. Nothing like cheapening the White House. Lipo Gate, where they're bringing in almost $500,000 from Chinese people into the Democratic committee to support her this was for Bill's campaign. Wag the Dog Gate. Just the night before Bill Clinton was going to be indicted for his misbehaviors, he calls an uncharacteristic airstrike on the on Iraq, trying to take the headlines away from his dirty deeds. Lootergate. As they left the White House, some of you folks may have been too young to even remember this. As they left the White House, Bill and Hillary stole silverware, furniture, a lot of items that were donated to the White House. They claimed the items were given to them. Multi-$1,000 furniture set that belonged to the Interior Department. The Clintons claimed that it was a gift. They were forced to return a lot of this stuff. But my God, this was the President and First Lady of the United States looting the White House. And now they want to get back in. One of their latest scandals, as they left the White House, hours before the presidency was over, Bill Clinton pardoned a whole bunch of people. Nothing illegal about that. There isn't. Even if it was for murder, for whatever. Might be wrong, but it's not illegal. But what is illegal, I think, let me qualify that. If it's not, it certainly should be. Her brother, Hillary's brother, actually took several $100,000, $400,000 in fact, to campaign for a pardon for this was for a drug criminal, Carlos Viginal. So her brother's acting as a what? Registered, lost the word. Anyway, taking money to get a pardon. They're selling pardons out of the White House now. Insane. Okay, let's get into the dirty stuff. Think about all the jobs that you've had. Take a moment, think about all the people that you've worked with, all the people that you've lived next to, all the people that you've known and slept with. How many of those people are dead today? Well, the Clintons have a little bit higher number. One of the deadliest jobs in America is being a Clinton bodyguard. If you go to bloodonherhands.com, these are all up there with a great deal of detail. There are 25 dead bodyguards in the Clintons' past. Some of them were killed in helicopter crashes. Some of them were committed suicide with a shot to the back of the head. Yeah, that sounds like a suicide. 25 dead bodyguards, and there was never a shot taken at these guys. So what's going on? These aren't just bodyguards that walk them from their house into their office. These are guys that have been with them on the road, have been with them as they check into hotels, been with them for all sorts of stuff. These are people that have seen where the bodies are buried. 25 people dead for killing their votes. Now, one of the most complicated and most involved is the Judy Gibbs. Judy Gibbs was a Penthouse model. She was in the '79 issue of Penthouse or something. She also worked at a strip club down in Texas or in Arkansas. Worked at a bordello near Mena, Arkansas, which also ran a blackmail operation, which took photos of customers and their girls, okay? A bordello taking pictures of people that the girls are sleeping with. Oh, this could be interesting. Bill Clinton was a regular customer, according to the Gibbs family. Bill Clinton was a regular customer of Judy. While cooperating with the law enforcement investigation, poor Judy was burned alive when her house burnt down. In a sworn statement, Clinton bodyguard related how he had been in the plane flying over it when Clinton pointed at the house. Now, remember, that was in Mena, Texas, the bordello. There were 12 more deaths. Kevin Ives and Don Henry died on the train tracks. This all kind of relates to what's called the train deaths because these guys were on the train. Initially, their deaths were declared because the train ran over them. Then it was determined later on that they were both dead before it happened. Don had been stabbed in the back, and Kevin's skull had been crushed beforehand. A little bit later, there was a guy named Barry Seal who had some information on the Mena killings at the Mena airport. And Barry Seal kept in contact with Bill Clinton's head of security at the governor's mansion. And Barry Seal ends up dead. Keith Coney, he had some information on the Ives Henry death. He died in a motorcycle accident while being chased by a car, ruled a traffic accident. You're seeing a theme here. Keith McCaskill, he had information on the Ivy Henry death. He was stabbed to death. He told his family someone was out to kill him and told him goodbye. Gregory Collins, he had information on the deaths. He died of a gunshot blast to his face. On and on and on. 12 deaths, all relating to the bordello where Clinton had a girl that he was a customer with. Dead witnesses against the Clintons. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's over a dozen of these. People that had something to say. James Bunch, influential Texan, died of a gunshot wound similar to Vince Foster. John Wilson, former D.C. council member, found dead with apparent hanging suicide. He claimed to have had information on Whitewater and was threatening to talk. Ronald Rogers, dentist from Arkansas, killed in a plane crash. A lot of plane crashes in these two. A lot of them. Folks, more dead people than you probably know, live people. All tied to Clintons. All tied to the scandals. Okay. Now let's just talk about some plain old seats. Oh, and then there's another whole list of dead fundraisers. People that raised money and knew where the money came from. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another 10 or 12 dead fundraisers for the Clintons. It doesn't really pay to raise money for these guys, folks. Pay attention. Now, lastly, as the Muslim Brotherhood and Al-Qaeda kill Christians around the world, slaughter Christians by the hundred in churches in Africa and in Egypt, Prime Minister of Egypt, he was a dictator for years. He was a dictator. He ruled with a stern fist, but he kept the peace. Mubarak never had a problem with Israel living next door. He kept peace between them, the Palestinians, the Iranians. He was a decent guy as dictators go. He didn't rape people the way the Husseins and all them did. Iran and Obama wanted him out of there. They wanted the Muslim Brotherhood brought into office. So they did all that. They funneled money over there. They got weapons into the, quote, protesters' hands. This was Al-Qaeda. This was the Muslim Brotherhood. They raised up. They threw Mubarak out of office. Now, as Christians around the world are being slaughtered, Hillary Clinton is going over there and praising Mohammed Morsi, the new puppet president, the new president of Egypt that we put in there. Muslim Brotherhood, the organization that spawned Al-Qaeda, the people that are killing your sons, your fathers. She's over there shaking hands and praising him for his leadership. Well, thank God that the people of Egypt again rose up, this time organically, without money being pumped in from Iran and from America. They raised up and they threw him out. But this shows where her colors are. The people were crying in the streets, begging Hillary Clinton to stand with the Christians that are being slaughtered in that country by the very man that she's shaking hands with. People, coming back in a little bit, we'll have Ann McElhenney with us. Join us for the third part of the hour, and at the top of the hour, please call in. Our call-in number is 888-909-1050. We'll see you in a few.